Alright, today we are diving headfirst into the world of shadows, secrets, and people who are definitely lying about their jobs. I've binged my way through the absolute best spy thrillers out there, and trust me, you need these in your life. We're talking paranoia, explosions, and so much backstabbing you'll need a chiropractor. And don't worry about where to find these shows. I've got a full list of where every single one is streaming right there in the first pinned comment. Let's get this mission started. First up, imagine Taylor Sheridan, the genius behind Yellowstone, decides to make a spy show. But not just any spy show. This one is about an all-female CIA team, and it feels so real it's actually based on a real-life program. The story follows this young Marine who gets recruited for the most insane undercover op ever, to become best friends with a terrorist's daughter. The tension is just suffocating. You have Zoe Saldana as this hardened team leader who has seen way too much. And then you have Nicole Kidman and Morgan Freeman as the big bosses pulling strings from the shadows. It's brutal, it's intense, and it's a masterclass in showing the psychological toll of living a lie. The whole thing is a raw, unfiltered look at female empowerment in a world where one wrong word gets you killed. This show doesn't pull any punches, it just throws them, and they land hard. You absolutely have to watch Lioness. Okay, next one. Picture this. You're a brilliant low-level CIA analyst, basically a glorified librarian for spies, and one day you stumble upon a secret plan so catastrophic it could kill millions. Then, literally everyone you know tries to kill you. This is the nightmare fuel that kicks off one of the most paranoid, on-the-run thrillers I have ever seen. The main character, Joe, is played by Max Irons, and he goes from nerdy analyst to hunted fugitive in about 5 seconds flat. He has to unravel this massive deep state conspiracy while dodging assassins at every turn. It's inspired by a classic 70s film, but it feels so modern and terrifyingly plausible. The legendary William Hurt is in it, delivering a performance that is just chilling. It's less about flashy gadgets and more about that cold, creeping dread that you can't trust anyone, not even the people who are supposed to be on your side. This is Condor. Alright, moving on. This next show is not just a thriller, it's a history lesson that will leave you furious and heartbroken. It's based on a Pulitzer Prize-winning book and digs into the real-life rivalry between the FBI and the CIA in the years leading up to 9/11. The series argues that their turf wars and refusal to share intel may have paved the way for the tragedy. Jeff Daniels plays this larger-than-life FBI agent who was one of the few people screaming about the threat of Osama bin Laden, but nobody would listen. It's a slow-burn investigation, but the stakes are impossibly high because we all know how the story ends. It's infuriating to watch these brilliant agents get stonewalled by bureaucracy and ego. It's less about car chases and more about heated arguments in sterile office buildings, but I promise you it is more gripping than most action movies. This is The Looming Tower. This next one is pure, uncut anxiety in television form. Seriously, my heart rate was through the roof for 6 straight episodes. It's a British series about a war veteran with severe PTSD who gets assigned to protect a controversial and ambitious politician. Richard Madden, who you'll know from Game of Thrones, is just phenomenal as the bodyguard David Budd. You can see the war still raging inside him, and now he has to protect this person whose politics he despises. The show masterfully blends political intrigue with some of the most intense, nail-biting suspense sequences I've ever seen. There's one scene in the first episode that will literally make you forget how to breathe. It's a masterclass in tension, exploring loyalty, trauma, and the constant threat of terrorism in a way that feels incredibly visceral and personal. You will be second-guessing every single character until the very end. The show is Bodyguard. Now for something that is pure, high-octane, military-grade revenge. Chris Pratt stars as a Navy SEAL whose entire platoon is wiped out in a catastrophic ambush. He survives, but his memory of the event is scrambled, and the government is telling him he's crazy. Of course, he's not crazy. He's been betrayed. So he makes a list and he starts hunting down every single person responsible, from the bottom all the way to the top. This show is based on a novel by a former Navy SEAL, and you can feel that authenticity in every single frame. It's a dark, gritty, and unapologetically brutal conspiracy thriller. It's not just about the action, which is incredible by the way. It's a deep dive into the mind of a warrior pushed to the absolute edge, questioning his own sanity while on a righteous path of vengeance. It's an absolute adrenaline rush. This show is The Terminal List. Hey guys, quick pause. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the world of spies and secrets, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Series Finder so you don't miss out on our next TV obsession. It really helps the channel out and it means we can keep doing these chaotic couch commentaries together. Okay, back to the action. Okay, this next one is about a guy who's basically a human wrecking ball with a detective's brain. He's a former military police investigator, a complete drifter with no phone, no home, and nothing but the clothes on his back. And he's massive. The actor, Alan Ritchson, is a giant, and he perfectly captures this character's intimidating physical presence. He wanders into a small town, gets immediately arrested for a murder he didn't commit, and decides, you know what, I'll just solve this entire town's deep-seated criminal conspiracy myself. And he does, with his fists and his brain. It's just so satisfying to watch this unstoppable force of nature dismantle a corrupt system piece by piece. The fight scenes are incredible, the mystery is compelling, and the character is just an instant icon. It's pure, fun, throwback action mystery perfection. You're watching Reacher. Next up, we have an Israeli series that is so raw and intense, it feels like a documentary. It was created by and stars a former member of the Israeli Special Forces, and that authenticity bleeds through every scene. The show gives you a two-sided look at the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, following an elite undercover unit as they hunt the notorious Hamas operative. Lior Raz, the star, is absolutely magnetic as Doron, the agent who comes out of retirement for one last mission that spirals completely out of control. What makes the show so brilliant and so devastating is that it doesn't pick sides. It shows the humanity and the brutality on both ends of the conflict, exploring the devastating personal cost for everyone involved. The action is gritty, the drama is heartbreaking, and the tension is relentless. It's one of the most powerful and important thrillers of the last decade. This is FAUDA. Okay, imagine you have the most boring job in the entire world. You're a low-level FBI agent who works in the basement of the White House, and your only duty is to sit by a phone that is for a top-secret emergency program. A phone that never, ever rings. Until one night, it does. That one phone call catapults our hero, played by Gabriel Basso, from total obscurity into the middle of a massive, terrifying conspiracy that goes all the way to the highest levels of the US government. This show is pure, propulsive popcorn entertainment. It moves at a breakneck pace, with twists and turns and betrayals in every episode. He has to protect this young woman who made the call, and the two of them are on the run, not knowing who to trust while trying to uncover a mole inside the White House. It's an absolute blast from start to finish. You're watching The Night Agent. Alright, time for an icon. We all know the name. This series rebooted a legendary character for a new generation, and they absolutely nailed it. John Krasinski, yes, Jim from The Office, transforms into a brilliant CIA analyst who's more comfortable behind a desk than in the field. But when he uncovers a new and dangerous terrorist threat, he gets ripped from his safe little cubicle and thrown right into the fire. The show has this massive, globe-trotting blockbuster movie feel. One minute he's in Yemen, the next he's in Paris, all while trying to stop an attack. What I love is that he isn't a super spy from the start. He's just a really smart guy who has to learn on the job, and fast. He's supported by the fantastic Wendell Pierce as his jaundiced, world-weary boss, James Greer. It's a smart, high-stakes, action-packed modernization of a classic. This is Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. Finally, we have to talk about the one that for many of us redefined the modern spy thriller on television. This is the OG of prestige spy dramas. It's a psychological masterpiece about a brilliant but volatile CIA officer played by the incredible Claire Danes, who has bipolar disorder. She becomes utterly convinced that a celebrated American war hero, who was just rescued after years in captivity, has been turned by the enemy and is now a sleeper agent planning an attack on US soil. The show is a relentless cat-and-mouse game, but the real battle is in her mind. Is she a genius connecting dots no one else can see? Or is her illness creating a paranoid delusion? It's a gripping, heart-wrenching exploration of patriotism, fear, and the immense personal sacrifices made in the name of national security. The performances are legendary, especially from Danes and Mandy Patinkin as her mentor. It's a true classic, and it's called Homeland. And that is our list. 10 shows that will have you checking for bugs under your coffee table and looking at your neighbors with suspicion. What an absolute ride. Let me know down in the comments which one of these you're starting tonight, or if I missed your favorite spice thriller. I love geeking out with you guys about this stuff. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next binge. Stay safe out there.